All right, it is 6 o'clock. And Becky, thank you for joining us by Zoom. I am going to officially call this meeting to order. If you all would rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Happy New Year, and thank you all for being with us on this very stormy night. Board members, have you had a chance to take a look at the agenda?
I motion to approve this evening's agenda.
And I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Hearing none, the agenda has passed. Now we will go over to Superintendent Jesse for his report.
Good evening. Happy 2024. Thank you so much, Board President Davidson, other board directors, community members, parents, and staff. I'm going to start off with about the backdrop to Shelton High School's graduation. We are working on a new backdrop as part of the graduation ceremony. The particular wood structure that was held together by wood pegs is no longer really stable. And it takes quite a lot of effort to just erect and make sure that it is safe. So we're going to move to having they have a huge screen at St. Martin's. Other schools and school districts use that particular screen. And so we are going to, in some ways, replicate the backdrop with the high climber on it in a, not only to have it done through like an animation, like on the screen, but then we're gonna also have some video production done. So we have contracted with the local media agency. We are working already with staff and students to put together some of the video cuts. We've gone also into archives with the city, and so they pulled that. I see Director Knutson, for example. I just looking over at her, she's there. So we're just getting a lot of input, really narrowed down the list of some of the elements that people want to make sure that is in the video, in the kind of like a 3 to 5 minute montage kind of thing about here's the history of Shelton High School. So it's really kind of cool. It brings it from some of the historical elements to the present. And then there's going to be an ability for it to roll over and really celebrate each graduating class and the uniqueness of each graduating class. So that's really exciting. That work's really kicking off now into the new year. A lot of the setup was done in the fall, and so now some of the, again, I was mentioning the video production is starting to move forward now that we have those other pieces. So excited about that. We've probably not as exciting, but is myself and some other staff members have been working together just around going out to the schools and really doing an internal audit of our policy and procedures related to discipline. So last June, we revised and updated our policy and procedures regarding discipline for us. And it really is a very dynamic part of K-12 education. There's a lot of rules and regulations around it. And so we wanted to make sure, like, how are things getting done? How is data entered? What does that look like? Making sure the notifications are out. Of course, translation, how do those things, setting ourselves up when students are suspended, that work is being provided to students so they continue with their education. So all those little things that we were going through, went out to all 8 schools, collected that information, and so that we can figure out what's our next steps around just our continuous improvement process. I think the really nice thing about it is, every district works on discipline. I think it's pretty cool that we've kind of created an internal audit process to really about our own improvement in that particular area. There's usually a lot of turnover in the particular people who work in discipline, and so that's one of the things that often hampers school districts and schools to their ability to do it extremely well, and so we're always looking to do that for us. Today, I was here at Mountain View. I went through classrooms K through 2, spent a lot of time just seeing what's going on during literacy, so reading and writing. Really warm and welcoming environments in each of the classrooms. I mean, I just was really quite amazing about the students' just ability to just hang on and already back break, getting into their routines and structures. And I was really pleased. A number of classrooms had their, what some people might think of small group or station work. Even in kindergarten, I saw one particular classroom had this really cool station work, working on the word work that we're trying to do. Kids were independently, yes, folks, true. 5- and 6-year-olds can work independently, moving around with clipboards and really working on some of the letter sounds that they were working on in that class, putting together words with word blocks. It was really pretty cool and dynamic to see that. I will conclude. You know, it's one of the things that is always of interest is the weather, especially when snow is involved. So lots of questions. My senior leadership is like shaking their head. I don't know how much time we spent on that today, even though we sent out communications earlier this week around it. Always a lot of questions. Our number one thing here for the Shelton School District is safety. One of the unique things about our geography is that if you get past Brockdale going north, I'm telling you snow is not the same anywhere else south of that. So it is quite a lot, and we serve a large, area all the way up into Lake Cushman. You know, we have students coming from the Hood Canal School District, in addition to obviously Pioneer and Southside. So just letting people know, we keep an eye on it. We go out there on the assess the roads starting around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Far and wide across the county, actually, because we talked to all the other school districts in Mason County, and just really trying to assess where is it at and what's the weather conditions, the road conditions, and the forecast. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we always send our information out. So all those families out there, you will get a notification via school messenger, so either a text and or an email, depending on the preferences you have. This is probably my one time again to plug. If you have updated contact information, such as a different cell phone number, or you have a different email, please call your school and get it updated. It's always imperative, really critical for us to let you know that, in addition to other information for your students. So if you could do that, I'd be very thankful on our behalf. So there you go, just a little update as we go into the new year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It was on my mind. I was wondering what we were going to do with possible snow, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I do know people are up early in the morning checking the roads for the school district, which is always great. So next up is community comments, and right now I don't have anybody signed up for community comments. Are there anybody that's online?
We have one phone call who just left. Oh, no, phone number ending in 0100. I don't know if that's Becky or if that's a commentator. I see their hand up.
No, it should be
Is that you, Becky?
no. I'm it has my name on it.
Oh, okay. But
So
there,
we do have a call in.
yeah, are there any comments listed at this time though, or no?
He's got his hand up.
Oh, okay. Then we can ask the caller if they have a comment?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Could you please state your name and address for the board?
Thank you. Yes, this is Dr. Schuyler Rad. I live in the 3rd District, and thank you for this ability to comment over phone. I have a sickness in my household. So I wanted to comment on something that Director Matt had said in an email. He said that the board makes sure people can answer questions when asked. And I agree with that. I was just thinking, what questions can the board ask about assessment? Assessment comes in different flavors: authentic, objective, continuous, summative, formative, criterion, normalized. But regardless of the assessment type, all assessments need to account for groups, levels, and facets. I think the board could ask these questions about groups, levels, and facets. So for groups, are assessment scores equitable between groups, like race, gender, family, income, English language ability? For levels, could ask, are assessment scores confounded by levels? So for like different classrooms, different grades, different schools, that's what I mean by levels. And for facets, are assessment scores reliable across facets? So when I say a facet, that means like an assessment would have different questions, different people scoring the assessment, different forms of the assessment, like Form A or Form B, different times of the assessment. So for example, in continuous assessment, which I've heard about, the different times are very important. That's a very important facet of assessment, that assessment can be reliable or it can lack consistency. So given the complexity of assessment, should the board expect the current administration to answer questions like this? I don't think so. The current leadership should focus on their respective content areas like literacy, curriculum instruction, and professional development. But if the district doesn't have someone to focus on assessment, then the board should absolutely ask these hard questions about assessment from the content area leads. That's not ideal because that forces content leadership to not just know their content, but also they would need to know all these details about the groups, levels, and facets of the assessment scores, which would add to their working load. Assessment scores are essential to school funding and how families choose where to live and work. And that is why I urge the board to support a district leadership policy that ensures content leaders can focus on content and that the district has the resources to hire or contract with someone who can focus on assessment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Not sure. And are there any other public comments at this time? All right. If not, we will move on. So moving on to reports and recognitions. We always begin with our reports from our student representatives. Aiden, you were here first today. Would you mind giving us your Cedar High School report?
So I'll start with that the FAFSA is open for seniors, so be sure to do that, even if you don't plan on going to a college or a trade school, still do it. January 16th, we have a Friends of Cedar meeting at 4:30 to discuss current progress and future planning for Cedar students. Families and community members are also invited. On the 24th, 24th, all juniors and seniors are attending the Evergreen State College Tour hosted by Trio and Evergreen to learn about programs, financial aid, and planning. And on the 26th, sophomores and juniors running start information is at 4 p.m. led by OC. Students and family members considering this program should attend. And that's all.
All right, great. Thank you very much for your report. And Abigail, a report for Shelton High School.
All freshmen are currently exploring their pathway options by going around and observing pathway classes. Next month, they'll apply for their specific pathway that they want to do for the rest of their 4 years. This Friday, after the basketball game, we're hosting a welcome back dance, and then boys wrestling placed second overall in their meet last weekend, and girls placed first overall. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. And I heard your cheer team did well with your with your
Yeah,
cheer competition, right?
We placed fourth in small non-tumbling traditional.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank
And this
you.
week is the little kids cheer
Yeah,
camp?
we have that was supposed to be in there, sorry. That's what I just came from. A mini cheer camp going on this week, and then dance team actually has their mini dance camp next week too. So it's kind of back to back, and then performances will each be, ours is this Friday, and then dance teams, I believe, is next Friday.
Okay, great. I know a lot of people always enjoy seeing the little cheerleaders and little dancers out there.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much for your report, too. And it looks like Riley is not here tonight, so we won't get a report on Choice High School tonight. So we'll move into the consent agenda. We do have a number of things on the consent agenda because we didn't have 2 meetings in December, so you're seeing quite a few more items listed that need to get approved.
I would move to approve the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Hearing none, the consent agenda has passed. All right, we've got several things under discussion and action items this evening. 7.01 is the proposed new policy number 6550, capitalization threshold for leases and subscription-based information technology arrangements. This is a second reading. It is recommended for approval. Brenda, is there more information you would like to provide?
No, I just would like to remind you from the last meeting, since it's been so long ago, that these are lined up with our financial statements, and it is a requirement for us to have this for the state auditor's office also. So,
Okay, is there a time frame on that then?
well, the auditor is coming on February 21st, I just found out, so we would need it before then. So, yeah.
All right. Are there any other questions regarding this policy? Or is there a motion?
I will make a comment that it sounds like it's kind of a paperwork thing that you just need to have in place for a school district or a large organization. So without knowing the specifics any more than that, it's needed for financial statements, I would like to make a motion to accept the capitalization threshold for lease and subscription-based information, otherwise SBITAS.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the new policy number 6550. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. All right, hearing none, the proposed policy 6550 has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, going into 7.02, it's a proposed revised policy number 2000, student learning goals. This is a first reading, and it will be discussion only at this point. Thank you, Mary Ann Marshall.
All right. Good evening, Board President Davidson, members of the board, Superintendent Jesse. I'm here to discuss the updates that we have made to Policy 2000, which focuses on student learning goals. These updates reflect our commitment to evolve with the changing educational landscape. We recognize the need to align with the best practices and legal standards in today's world. We need to ensure that our policy remains relevant and effective. The core of these changes emphasizes the enhancement of student development in crucial areas. We're looking at fostering skills in effective communication, understanding various academic disciplines, and nurturing analytical and creative thinking. And more importantly, we are focusing in on career-related skills, preparing our students for the challenges and the opportunities for their future. This updated policy underscores the importance of high standards within our performance-based educational system, and we're also reinforcing the value of parental partnership and the critical role that the students play in their responsibility in their learning process. These revisions are not just in changes in the wording, they represent a shift in our approach to education. We're aiming to create an environment where students can thrive, equipped with skills and knowledge to succeed in a rapidly evolving world. And I welcome your questions.
Okay. So I like how this is stated. I think it's very good and very clear of what we want our students. Did we include our mission statement in the beginning of this? Is that why the beginning has changed? Is that our mission statement for Shelton School District?
So it's not our mission statement, but we do take a look at the WACs, we do look at the RCWs, we do look at a WASDA model policy and what it states, as well as examples of districts around us and what they've put in their policy. So no, it's not a mission statement, it's just reflective of the information that we've gathered that would make us identify what needs to change in this policy. And so it's just wording that's been changed.
Okay. So another thing is you just stated that we're in partnership with parents. Where is it stated in the student learning goal? I'm not sure I see that. I think that's wonderful that we are in partnership with parents.
So it just states that parents are primary partners in the education of their children. There in the last paragraph.
Last paragraph, okay.
Just
There we go.
reinforcing that partnership is important.
And just one more little question.
Absolutely.
And number 4 says, understands the importance of work and finance. So that sounds wonderful. We always hear people say, you know, if they can do algebra and economics, but can they make change? So finance, how does, have we added some more things in finance to our curriculum, or just that describes what we already have?
So there are financial literacy standards that students need to meet, and that is embedded inside of the classroom. We've done partnerships with here in the community with our community credit union, with them supporting the EverFi platform, which teaches students about financial literacy. So that, yes, that work has been happening inside of the classroom.
That's very good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me piggyback on that question then. When you're saying that those are standards, are those state standards
Yes.
for financial literacy? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to be sure of.
Absolutely.
Without putting you on the spot, and if you don't know, that's fine, what would be an example of financial literacy? What sort of things are they looking for?
So for example, at the high school level, one of the things that we do with our students there in our career fair is that they have to learn how to balance a budget. So if you remember, they're given an occupation, they're given a salary, and then they have to go and they have to build a budget off of that. So that's one example of an activity that we work with students on here in the Shelton School District.
I know it's been a part of their senior plans too, where when they're looking at options for career or college after high school, that they have to research what the costs of that will be as well too. So there's a lot of different ways that they've put that in, which is really important.
Yes.
Are there any other questions regarding this policy? We're not voting on this tonight. It is our first reading. Becky, do you have any questions? I want to be sure I'm checking in with you.
Excuse me. No, I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. I think this is very well written and want to thank you for all your hard work and putting this together.
All right, thank you for your comment, Becky, and feel free to jump in if I'm not seeing you indicate that you're trying to.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, if there are no other questions, we will go on to 7.03, which is another proposed revised policy 2005. This is school improvement plans. Again, it is a first reading for discussion, and Marianne, you can let us know about this one as well.
All right, like you just shared, Board President Davidson, I'm here to just update you about the revisions that we've made to Policy 2005 school improvement plans. We're going to just continue within this policy to ensure that our schools district develops and implements an effective data-driven school improvement plan. These plans are fundamental in shaping our educational approach as they directly impact student achievement and overall school performance. We have emphasized that each plan should be annually evaluated based on its positive impact on student learning. This includes not only academic achievement, but also growth areas like public speaking, leadership, interpersonal relationships, teamwork, self-confidence, and resiliency. Furthermore, this policy ensures that every school improvement plan and process are based on a thorough self-review. We've done that in the past. We'll continue to do that here in the future with our plans. And then again, it goes back to the active involvement and participation with all of our stakeholders, being our staff, our students, our parents and guardians, as well as our community members. And it's important to note that these plans will address key elements and characteristics such as effective schools, safe and supporting learning environments, education equity, technology use, and parent and community involvement. So the updates to this policy are just a step forward in reinforcing our commitment and improvement in excellent education here within the Shelton School District. I welcome your questions.
Does anybody have any questions? You're welcome to jump in.
Yes, I have a question, and maybe you don't have an exact answer for this, but when the school improvement plan is presented to us from principals, I'm not sure how they get the parental input. So is that happening, or is that one of our future goals, that we build that in for parental input?
That's a great question. Yes, the expectation is that our schools are meeting and presenting their school improvement plans with their parents and guardians, community members, so that they have an opportunity to give input into that plan.
So that's one of our goals going forward.
And that is work that's happened
Okay.
prior to the update of this policy.
Very good.
Are there any other questions? Yeah. It looks like maybe there are no other questions at this time. All right, thank you very much for the first reading of both of those policies. If there are any questions that board members have in the meantime, if you go back and read them, you're welcome to email the superintendent, who can pass that on, and we can get those questions answered for the next school board meeting.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, moving on to Section 8, the annual reorganization of the board. So first up is 8.01, which is the election of a chairman. And this is an important position because you get to be the person that truly coordinates the communication amongst board members, because due to Open Public Meetings Act, we can't all be on a text thread. Many people don't understand this. We can't email each other, or else it's a public meeting. So we have to individually communicate, and that can take some coordination. And the chairman also has the opportunity to communicate with the superintendent, and sometimes you will be the person that's asked to do the audits more often, but really any member of the school board is welcome to do those things at any time. So at this point in time, I know everybody is aware of what that duty is. Do we have any nominations for chairman?
I nominate Terry Davidson for chairman.
Are there any other nominations? Thank you, Becky.
I have appreciated your long run as chairman on the board, and I would like to nominate Director Wielander as our chairman for this year.
Chairperson.
Chairperson, there we go.
All right, are there any other nominations at this time? And then I think I will say I very much appreciate, Becky, the nomination, but I am going to decline. It's been 2 years for me being the chairperson of the board, and I've enjoyed doing that. But I do, in my own personal philosophy, when I came on the board 8 years ago, there were many people that were capable of that as there are now. And I think it's important to rotate leadership. I think it's important for the community to see that as well. And I'm still going to be on the board, willing to help out whoever is the chairman. And I know Matt's been doing a great job as the vice chair. So I think that if we would like to vote on that nomination, and I believe we have to do a roll call vote for these positions. So I'll start with myself. Carrie Davidson does vote for Director Matt Wielander for chairman. Matt, what is your vote?
I'll vote for myself, knowing how you feel about it.
All right, Director Knudsen.
I'll vote for Director Wielander.
All right, Director Gilmore.
Director Wielander?
All right, Director Cronquist.
No.
All right. We've got 4-1, so Director Wielander, I'm going to hand this gavel over to you because you get to now run the meeting.
Okay, well, we'll move on to 8.02, which would be the election of the vice chair. Yeah, do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I would like to nominate Carrie Davidson with her wealth of information. As we are fairly new on the board, we need some continuity and history. So with that, I nominate Carrie Davidson.
Are there any other nominations? And with that, we'll start at the other end. Director Cronquist, how would you vote on that?
Yes.
Director Gilmore?
I vote yes.
Yes.
And feeling, as I prefer to walk before I run, I definitely would say yes.
All right, and I do accept the nomination, and I'm happy to serve as vice chairman and help out as much as I can with all of the duties. Thank you.
Moving on to 8.03, election of the legislative representative. This person ties into the legislative meetings, is up to snuff on what's going on as far as WASDA and different laws that are coming down, goes to all the extra meetings and then gets to come back and let us know what's going on. And at this time, do we have any nominations for our legislative representative?
Yes, I would like to nominate Director Gilmore for that position, especially with her extensive legislative experience already.
Are there any other nominations? Okay. At this time, Director Davidson, how would you vote?
I vote yes.
Ms. Knudsen?
Yes.
Director Cronquist?
Yes.
Okay. I vote yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, unanimous vote. There you go, some extra meetings. Okay, I'll move on to Section 9, board member comments. We'll go ahead and start with Director Cronquist. Sorry, I saw you just muted yourself.
No, I don't have any comments tonight. Thank you, though.
I do hope you feel better. Director Gilmore?
I would like to thank the policy presenters for coming out tonight and sharing that information with us. And I hope Becky feels better. And thank you for the legislative representative nomination. I will keep going to WASDA, and I will bring back all that fun information that I'm sure everybody is excited to hear about. So, session picked up yesterday, and it is full running. So it was full running last week. So,
Director Knudsen.
Yes, I want to start with a question. Aiden, you mentioned something on the 16th at Cedar High School and said it was open to the community. Could you once again state what that is?
It's a Friends of Cedar meeting to discuss current progress and future planning for Cedar High School.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, thank you, high school students, for your input. It was very good to hear about your events. And getting back to school, I'm thinking about all the people who work in our district, all the adults, the bus drivers, the custodians, the teachers, and all the supports people we have. And I know how important it is for a lot of these kids to have a welcoming place to come back to. Not everyone has a happy long vacation for 2 weeks at home, and they need us. They need our schools. They need those adults, and they need the routines and the welcoming feeling they get by those adults who support them here. So I was just reading about education and how holidays can be a hard transition for some students. So I want to recognize all the adults we have in our school community that help bring those kids back and give them the stability that they need. Another thing I'd like to mention is that we had that call in to ask about assessment. And so I want to ask Superintendent Jesse if he would give us a little report in the next month or so how we handle assessment in our district. I think we have an assessment coordinator, and do you understand my question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can give you some detailed information on that.
Okay, yeah. I think that would be good to inform us and inform the public. The other thing is being on the committee for the high school graduation. The media presentation sounds like it will really cover the history of how Shelton formed our schools, plus updated to our current graduating class, plus these teachers, and I don't remember their names or their roles, but they teach the media classes, the yearbook classes. They were so enthusiastic with ideas and said, we can do that. And I said, well, it's a big group, but can we show a personal picture of each graduating student? And they said we could do that, and they figured out a time that would not be very difficult to put in a looping of all the graduating students with pictures that they could submit. And I just appreciate their enthusiasm, the two high school media teachers who were at that meeting. And I think they're forming something great for the future of Shelton High School graduation. And let's see, okay. And that's everything on my list tonight.
Thank you. And Director Davison.
I feel like I haven't been here for a bit. I know I missed being present at the last school board meeting because I was out of state for work. So I apologize for missing that. When I was reading through the board comments from the last time, I also want to share I loved going to Cedar High School and seeing all of the things that were showcased there and the students that were very excited about their programs and all of the things that were happening. And it was also nice to talk to some of the staff about the needs that are there at the school and just have a chance to see that for myself as a school board member. Thank you for the policy updates tonight, going through all of those things. I know our agenda isn't as long. I've got two children at Shelton High School. It's definitely been a busy time getting back into school, but it's been exciting hearing my freshmen talk about the different career and academy pathways that they are getting exposed to. I think that really helps get the freshmen engaged And I'm hearing lots of positive feedback because I have a student that in that age that is talking about those things and just getting the exposure to the different academies, and having that freshman seminar class has really helped. It's really been exciting hearing about all of the sports. We have had some, amazing things happening with wrestling, both boys and girls, and just a lot of the different athletics, whether it's dance, swim is back in session, cheer, all of the different competitions that are happening. Now I'm a big advocate for all of the extracurricular activities that students can be a part of, whether that's theater, choir, whether it's any of the sports or clubs. I think all of those things are great ways for students to spend time and connect with each other and other staff. So I love hearing about all of that. As the board president that's coming out, I do want to thank every single board member here and the student representatives for your time. This is a time commitment, and none of us get paid for doing this, but we're here because we want to serve our community and we want to listen and do things that are better for our school district. And I have been blessed with some really great school board members, and I look forward to going on this year as the vice chair and helping with any of the information that I bring from the time that I've spent on the board. So that's it for me now.
Okay, well, I will wrap it up with just a little bit from tonight. It's good to see that they're going to put a little bit more emphasis on making sure kids that get suspended get that homework so that they keep up a little bit better. It's terrible to see, when they get sent home because they're already having some sort of a problem and they get further and further behind. As far as weather this weekend, remember that Shelton School District does have 6 different microclimates within its boundaries, so just because there's no snow out in front of your house doesn't mean it isn't a foot deep up the road. Always appreciate Dr. Rad asking questions and his input. I get a couple emails every now and then, and he always piques my interest and makes me go out and learn different stuff. Touching off of Aiden, remember FAFSA is open for everybody right now, so if you've got kids looking towards college, career, trade school, whatever, get that going, sooner the better. And high school sports, finding a lot of success out there. It's great to hear about, and yeah, so there you go. At this point, we don't have any need for an executive or an exempt session, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it.